some people have put out like videos of them talking about this fucking Starfield shit. The reason why they did it is because Bethesda put out a 15-minute presentation discussing this fucking shit. We're gonna have a look at it today. Alright. Starfield logo, seen that. We now have Todd in his fucking bullshit costume. Got the drip. Blah 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 blah. Okay, here we go. These smoke effects, they suck. Like, it literally looks like I'm looking at Duke Nukem 3D. Very bad, very atrocious, just dog shit. Internal layout on the floor panels here, the screws, they look amazing. There's grime on the fucking window. It looks good. There's definitely an increased fidelity in this new project. I think Bethesda understood that people did not like the 3D like design, for lack of a better words, for Fallout 4. Yeah? And they've gone back to sort of a gritty realism sort of vibe. I would argue on the same page as New Vegas and Fallout 3, where it wasn't really cartoony, it was just realism. But that's all they could achieve back in 2007 and 2010. And they seem to have done the same thing. You'll see later on, there's character faces and shit, and we'll show you that. We go on here, again, standard Bethesda game, first person, third person. Everyone likes that. This is interesting because he's put his gun on the fucking bug. And I saw a leak regarding there being dice roll combat, or dice rolls in this game. I don't know whether this is true. In Fallout, you had an animal whisperer perk and you could convince animals to go on your side or to fuck off. This might be that. So we'll have to see when the game launches. So skipping, okay, we got No Man's Sky once again here. I'll just go back a little bit more. Mining shit. There's a reason why we do it. I'll show you that later. There's also planets like searching here. Yeah, he's searching shit and there's stuff there. Alright. They've taken a P90 from fucking Counter-Strike Global Offensive, P90 Asimov. Literally, this is the magazine, and they insert it there. And what we're about to see, it looks like shit. Entering from an outside environment into a new environment, the, like, lighting, like, here, that, completely atrocious. That should not be a thing in this engine. It was an issue on Fallout 4, if I recall correctly, and it's an issue here. I get they built this game on top of the Fallout 4 code base, and that's why certain things act the way they do. E.g., this looks like a Fallout 4 mod. The sort of smoke inside. They've also seemed to gone back and made stuff with like prefab inside the creation kit. So you make a model and then you just like Legos, and that's your level, and then you populate it with objects. They seem to have gone back to that, and that's why I feel it feels like Fallout 4. Bad thing, good thing, who the fuck knows until I play it. Fallout 4 was okay, I guess. It was a shit Fallout game. As per a game on itself, it was okay. When I first played it, I had a lot of fun. But on subsequent playthroughs, I was like, yeah, this is dog shit. And there were no mods to sort of save that experience. In Fallout New Vegas, you had a bajillion of quest mods that were sort of lore compatible. One I will just say is the Some Guy series. And those mods, like New Vegas Bounties, Inheritance, the one with Russell, they're amazing. They feel like they belong in the fucking New Vegas lore. Fallout mods don't. Really, they don't. And I know that Todd has talked about mod support for this game. This is probably, I think, to be the biggest important factor is that, well, Bethesda in general have always been supportive of mods. It's because the game's fucking broken on day one. But you will have cunts making all sorts of cool, wacky tobacco mods. Like, you'll see later on in the video, Todd talks about there being 1,000 planets. Most of that's done procedurally. that isn't an issue. They usually use procedural generation in Bethesda games, but we'll have to see how good it is, because they make stuff with procedural, but then they go back and touch it up and they add stuff to it. This seems to be fully procedural. Everyone gets the same planets. Everyone gets the same 1,000 planets, but it is procedurally made. I think cunts will be able to make like a Star Wars mod on like a desert planet, you know? The desert planet will be standard for Tatooine or Naboo or so on and so forth. So again, yeah, very Fallout 4-esque combat. Sort of a bit bullet spongy enemies. Not a fan of that. I would have preferred if they were less bullet spongy. I only hope someone will be able to make a mod to affect that, and that, you know, you don't have to wait until a script's extended to come out. Just then, the favorites menu returns, that you can like quick find something to. And that's just a fucking Fallout 4 shotgun. It reminds me of one so much. And right here is a lockpicking scene. Lockpicking's different. It isn't like a screwdriver and a bobby pin. It seems to be, you know, they've redesigned the minigame. And yeah, they got this laser rifle out of that box. It looks like a fucking laser rifle straight from Fallout New Vegas. Well, not looks, but it behaves like one. Like, he'll zoom in, and the gun will also clip at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so here Todd's back, and now he's showing off the different like worlds. This is one of the main capital cities in the game. It looks okay, to be honest. I would have liked to see more people on screen. To its credit, Cyberpunk had a bunch of cunts on screen. They nerfed that in later updates, but originally they had quite a lot of NPCs. At the same time, a lot of NPCs in Cyberpunk, they don't say or do anything. They're a blank slate. And in most Bethesda games, most people have stuff to say. And this is a point raised in another video I saw. And having people say shit, it adds to the experience, because you're walking around in a, I hate to say it, in a living world. And yeah, here, this texture work, atrocious. This is like a fucking 13-year-old made this mod. It looks like a mod, this section here. I really hope they touch that up. Costumes look cool. Lighting looks good. Lighting looks really good, actually. That's one of the things they touched up upon for this one. Now we have like a fucking, sort of like a Pip-Boy, I assume. This is advertised as promotional, like you get this if you buy the collector's edition. I'm assuming it's gonna have a bigger focus in the game. Blah 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 blah. That's just story details. Not that important. Hair is a mixed bag. It looks like shit in some aspects. This looks okay, but this looks bad. Don't like it on the whole. Faces look better though. Way better. As I said, they're not using that fucking 3D-esque fucking ugly ass face anymore. They've gone to more realism, and I like it. I think it's a good change. Okay. Big thing. Models, so faces obviously, but there's details here. The faces are better, obviously, I said, but the costumes, the clothes, yeah, way better. Way more texture you can see on this shit. There is texture, there is sort of reflections on this cunt's uniform. It looks like leather. And it looks great. I'm really glad they've done this. The fidelity has increased so much more. And also, we have the fucking Oblivion sort of style. Really close up facial, having a dialogue. So, Looks alright. Blah blah blah. More fucking story bullshit. Okay, character creation, yeah, pretty much the exact same shit as what before. Where is it? And we can also change. This is a little bit more advanced from Fallout 4. I like this. This reminds me of Saints Row with the walk style. That's pretty clever. I like that they inserted that. Hair again looks like dog shit. This is pretty cool, having backgrounds, and that gives you perks and shit. Bit like I think it was traits, and I think that's the word they used, but you could pick shit and it would be like, here's your 3 skills. No, yeah, it was skills. You would pick like lock picking or science or small guns, etc., like Fallout 3 New Vegas. That seems to have been replaced by this. I like it. It's pretty cool. Come on, pod. So yeah, there's traits, and they give you shit like, you own a small house. It comes with a fucking mortgage. So you're in debt even in your computer games. You're in debt. So yeah, I don't like that one. So all the costumes, yada yada yada. Skill system, blah blah blah. This reminds me a lot of Cyberpunk, in a way. Like they had that sort of one in the window and then they lay it out. Or also does remind me of a little bit of fucking Fallout 4 with the perks, so how they had it like this. Yeah, it's definitely its own thing. I don't know if it's good or not. Challenges, oh, I just noticed that. It's cool. Gonna have to see how this phases out in the game. This is definitely does remind me of like Skyrim as well. Like sort of maybe not Skyrim. Like it's not skill points. You're not putting points into skills. You're getting perks basically. Like these are all perks. I reckon. That's what it looks like to me. Is that an AK? What the fuck? There's an AK in the future. Amazing. AK in Fallout Starfield confirmed. Okay, settlements, they're back. It seems to have been like severely reduced in complexity. Like you're sort of forced to use this overhead menu, I think. Yeah, he's talking about in the thing you can make resources like from these different settlements. I'm assuming that hunts will come in and invade. Maybe like a new settlement needs your help, or your settlement is under attack. Sort of from Fallout 4. And he's also talking about hiring people and how hire people who you hire, they can go on your spaceship, and that's another thing he's about to get to. And that's fucking romantic. So yeah, we got fucking crew members and shit, and you can walk around the spaceship and you can build your fucking spaceship, which is pretty awesome. I like that they're doing this, and this sort of expands out the possibilities for modders. So as I was talking about before with the cunts making a Star Wars world, cunts can just make a fucking like Star Destroyer or a fucking TIE fighter or something. You can fly them around and shit. I'm assuming you can get out of your pilot so you can walk around. Oh yeah, the different planets and shit. So yeah, Bob's your uncle.